Miami Dolphins had a tough Monday Night Football performance, but luckily for them, so did the New England Patriots in their Sunday afternoon game against the 49ers. Dolphins will be flying up to New England to take on Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots in this Week 5 matchup. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, who's a diehard Patriots fan. We're going to break down this game, the matchups within the game that you need to look out for, and then at the very end of the video, provide our predictions on who we think is going to win and why. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we have a goal of trying to get to 100 new subscribers for this Week 5 prediction video series. We've been able to hit that goal over the past couple of weeks thanks to all of our new members to the channel. So thank you. If this is your first time here, if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take. Leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. And so we're recording this right after the Monday Night Football game between the Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. And just a tough overall scene, especially for an offense that can be so fun to watch, just with how much speed and creativity that they can have when fully healthy. But that also being said, though, too, it I think maybe also goes to show the importance of having a starting caliber quarterback. And so, all fairness to Tyler Huntley, though, I think he just got picked up this week as well and was kind of thrown in there. So, and Tennessee has a good defense. But their saving grace, though, is they get to go up against your New England Patriots, who is also probably one of the worst teams in the league as well. Want to kind of throw it over to you as you're the big Patriots fan here. And it's kind of, too, as it's the end of September and kind of the regular season preseason is over now, as you and I would like to call it, as like the month of September. A lot of people like to still kind of keep shaking the rust off here. So what's your kind of overall thoughts on your Patriots team, on this Dolphins team, like your overall kind of report card for both of these teams?
Yeah, I'll start with the Dolphins, and I would say it's really been nothing short of absolutely disappointing. I thought, especially early on, they had some easier games. Obviously the Buffalo game on Thursday night is a tough one, but I thought early on in the season they would be pretty competitive. With Tua going out with another concussion, I think that is. This team didn't look that great when he was in, to be fair, but obviously losing your starting quarterback is never a good thing. But this team just looks so unenthused. They have very little energy, and
that was my thing.
It's just kind of sad. Like, for a team that was so electric for the last 2 seasons, it's like they have no energy.
That was my thing, and not to rag on Tyreek Hill or anything like that, even though I know a lot of people like to do that with everything that's happened this season. But I see, like, Tua's down, your quarterback's down. We don't really know when he's going to be coming back. So, like, you're the star player. You're supposed to be a leader. And I don't know, but he just seems like he's just screaming on the sidelines and just upset. Yeah. To be fair, I would be really frustrated too, but I feel like there's other ways to go about doing it. And it just seems like that the whole team is just completely dejected. And rightfully so in some aspects, absolutely, but still very early on in the season. But it's not just him. It's easy just to point out him, but like everybody just seems dejected as well. And on the flip side too, I'll say then it's like Mike McDaniel. Like I did see him get pretty fired up against Seattle, over a bad call. But in general, though, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of worry there. Not like Robert Saleh angriness, screaming at the refs, fighting for every play for your team. Maybe I'm being extra picky there. Maybe I'm being like super nitpicky, but it's just kind of like my initial kind of thoughts. Also, too, still kind of digesting this game here, like after Tennessee. They weren't really able to do much of anything offensively against Tennessee. And once again, all fairness, Tyler Huntley, like he just got picked up earlier this week.
So, but to be fair, they have Skylar Thompson that was already in the building. Like, he has operated and actually made starts for this offense before. Like, so them going out and getting Tyler Huntley was a decision that they made.
Well, I'm pretty sure he was banged up.
He was dressed today. He was.
Oh, he was dressed.
Yeah, he was dressed. Okay. So I don't know like what the ins and outs of that situation are. But Tyler Huntley got the start. Not a great performance, I will say, for being in an offense for a week. He had 8 carries for 40 yards and a rushing touchdown. He was 14 of 22 for 96 yards. So like not absolutely horrible. But he also did have a fumble. And I believe he was sacked 4 times. Oh no, 2 times.
That's so
and so like. Yeah, just an unenthusiastic performance from the Dolphins so far, and for their opponent this week, the Patriots.
I was going to say, just show you how kind of pathetic the game was overall. So he was a leading passer in today's game.
Yeah, And
It's like
Will Levis went down.
he did go down, yeah, overall. But Mason Rudolph falls 9 for 17 for 85. They had about the equivalent game,
Yeah.
I would say. So, but sorry,
Yeah.
your Patriots. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so turn the page to the Patriots. This team has also been unenthusiastic, and through 4 weeks, they played a good game against a unprepared Cincinnati team. They played a tight game with the Seahawks, but were just out talented. They got totally outclassed on Thursday Night Football against the Jets after a long, or after a short week, after a long game, and then they had some opportunities against San Francisco to make plays that they just didn't make. And I think also looking at San Francisco, they're a much better team than you are. And this New England team is pretty banged up at the moment. I mean, their offensive line was already bad. They're on their third left tackle, second right tackle, if you consider Chukwuekorfor to be the initial plan starting there. Now Mike Nwunu has to kick out. Layden Robinson is in at right guard. Like this team is just a mess, and now David Andrews is out, and they have very few playmakers on the outside that can actually do anything. Teams know this, so they're stacking the box, and Ramondre Stevenson can't stop from fumbling. Like this Patriots offense is by far the worst in the league, and it's really not, in my opinion, it's really not close. Like I even look at Carolina, and like they have a left tackle, they have some wide receivers that can do things for them, and so like they have by far, I think, the worst offense in the league. This defense, I think,
back it up for you here in a second. So,
oh yeah, this defense, I think, is okay. They're also pretty banged up, and they also traded Matthew Judon at the beginning of the year, but that was their own thing. But this defensive front is supposed to be one of the top run defenses in the league, and they don't have Christian Barmore. Jeremiah Farms, Daniel Aquale are two defensive tackles who are taking large portions of defensive snaps for you, and most people don't even know who those guys are. And so like that's just a really bad look. Christian Gonzalez has been one of the lone bright spots of this team, and we'll get into it in the matchup later. I thought Marcus Jones and Jonathan Jones have been good this year. They have just been outsized at times, and you just can't coach that. So this Patriots team really banged up, untalented is probably the best way to explain this team so far.
yeah.
And it's going to be a fun matchup between two bottom of the barrel teams.
But other than that, they're one of the better teams in the league, though, outside of everything that you said.
Yeah. If we're playing golf, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so that's to your point. Everything you said statistically was right. I'll start with the defense. Is like they are slightly below average overall in total yards. They're above average or top 10 in rushing yards allowed. It's in that bright spot. So you're correct in that aspect. And you're correct all around in general. But just backing up just your points. Offensively, they are the worst in the league. Total yards allowed 32nd. Total passing yards allowed 32nd. That is no surprise at all. And actually, let me pull it up here. It's not even close, actually, when it comes to passing yards. They're only 8 yards short of Cleveland on total offensive yards, but they're 39 yards less than the next guy, who's also, I believe, Cleveland as well. No, it's Los Angeles, actually. Oh, sorry, never mind. They're 24 yards less than the next guy, which is Los Angeles Chargers. So, and then they're 12th in rushing yards per game. So, and that's because it's Ramondre Stevenson. It's really unfortunate that Stevenson is on your team, because imagine what his career could be if he was on the Lions. Like I know they have Jameer Gibbs, but like he is one of the better running backs in the league. It's just he's not been on any good teams at all, and it's going to be curious too as well if it's going to be a similar kind of path with Devon Achane as well, just because his rookie year was on a really fun Dolphins team, but this year definitely seems like it's a bust. Looking forward to 2025. What's going to happen with Mike McDaniel as a coach? Is Tyreek Hill going to move on? Is Tua going to retire? Like just all these questions. Are they just going to blow everything up? But Achane has been kind of the one little bright spot, I think, in the team so far. Even though he had a poor performance today, but I think it's similar with Ramondre Stevenson. You're just going to put a bunch of guys in the box for a weak offensive line and a team that can't really throw the ball. So
Ramondre Stevenson in week 1 had like 128 yards against the Cincinnati Bengals. 118 of them came after contact.
Yeah.
Like So he had 10. He got 10 free yards basically out of all that, and so like that's just what he's having to deal with. Teams know that this team can't, one, pass block, and two, get receivers open down the field. Well, actually, through the first few weeks, they were one of the better run blocking teams in the league. But if you have 6 guys on the line, you can't block 8 guys. So people are just shooting gaps left and right because they know they're not going to get beat deep.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're definitely selling on how fun of a game this is going to be. I think, too, as well, one of the things, if you want to have a little more fun while watching the game, check out the link down below, BetUS. They have a bunch of fun promotions going on right now for first-time players. So you can check out this game and all the other Week 5 games as well. You can look at the odds. Who I honestly don't really know who the favorite's going to be. This might be a pick'em game. I will say, though, whatever the over-under is, I would probably pick the under.
Yeah.
I would think.
And take the over on sacks. That's what I would say.
Over on sacks, that's another one too. Yeah, I think you guys are 31st in sacks allowed, 17 sacks allowed. Who's won? Who's won right now? Who's giving up more sacks than you guys? The Cleveland Browns, ironically. So your team and Mom's team are fighting for some of the worst offenses.
Well, hey, we took a lot of the Browns' offensive staff from last year, so that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense actually. So, kind of moving to this game with Miami versus New England. You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be for Miami. I will say with Tyler Huntley, if you're going to go with him, he at least does have some good amount of professional experience, and I think he can play a similar type role for you as kind of what he did in Baltimore. And I think that's going to you give him a week of practice, a couple weeks of practice. I think that's going to translate more to the type of game that they want to play with, trying to get the ball into Tyreek Hill and in Jalen Waddle's hands. And it just because you're going to have to somehow get the ball into their hands because they're the only two real playmakers for both teams. Outside, I guess, of Ramondre Stevenson, as I mentioned, and Devon A-Chain as well. But if they can somehow get them in space, get a couple of big explosive plays that they can break off, get into y'all's field goal position at least, or get into the red zone, I think Miami can pull out this game. But on the flip side, though, if New England is able to kind of contain that, do something similar to what Tennessee did today, bring some guys up, make them have to throw the ball, make it difficult for them to run traditionally, then it's going to be another kind of game that Miami faced tonight. So what are some of the key matchups that you're excited to watch when it comes to this game? And I say excited, obviously.
Well, I'm excited as a Patriots fan. I want to watch them play, but to me, this is a must-win game for the Patriots. The one thing that I'm really curious to see is actually going to be like the intellectual battle here. How does Gerard Mayo and DeMarcus Covington scheme up a defense to slow down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle with the defense that they have that against Mike McDaniel? They have tried to do a lot of things like disguising coverages and moving pieces around, but with that, sometimes they've outsmarted themselves. And can Mike McDaniel take advantage of that? Can the Patriots actually put together a game plan to slow down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? I think that's going to be very important. But then also, Josh Uche, Keon White, can they actually get after Tyler Huntley, Skylar Thompson, whoever is back there for the Dolphins? Because if they can do that, I think this becomes a pretty cut and dry game for the Patriots, where run the ball, blitz the crap out of Tyler Huntley in this Dolphins offense, and I don't want to say take your chances down the field, because I don't think you want to take your chances. But one of the things that I mentioned earlier in the video is I thought the Patriots corners have been in pretty good coverage throughout this season. It's just against the Jets, Aaron Rodgers was basically throwing against a 6'5" wide receiver against a 5'9" corner. And he was like, I'm just going to throw the ball 7, 8 feet in the air over this guy, and he'll make the catch.
Yeah,
that's not going to be the case with the Dolphins. I think the Patriots will have a much better matchup against these wide receivers with their corners, and if they can do that, I think the Patriots will come out ahead here.
Okay, so if we're kind of leading into predictions here, are you going with New England?
Yeah, I'm going to pick New England for the first time this year. after watching the Dolphins on Monday night, they were just so unenthusiastic. They have to go up to New England this week, and I just think some of the dominoes are gonna fall in New England's favor.
I got you. So I'm going to disagree. You picked against my team. You picked Tampa Bay over Atlanta. I'm going to go with Miami here. One, just because I think it'd be funny. But then two, when it comes actually then to the game as well, I still think that I think they're going to find a way to get some of the skill to get Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle the ball a little bit more, get him out of the space. It's not going to be a pretty game, and I think defensively they're going to have an easier time containing the Patriots offense compared to like what they had tonight. Because even too, you look at this Tennessee offense as well. You still got some good skill position players in Tajay Spears, Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins, and Calvin Ridley. It was a nasty game, but and also too, the Titans' offensive line is, I think, played better and is improving compared to your offensive line is not. So I think it's going to be kind of a nasty game, but I think it's going to be like a 10-7 type Miami victory.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, part of the reason why I'm picking the Patriots is just because I am a Patriots fan. I do think some of the matchups fall in favor of New England. I don't know. I think they stack up well. I do think this offensive line, they're going to have to figure out ways to beat this blitz. But this offensive line hopefully will start to improve eventually for the Patriots. But they're going to have to figure out ways to beat this blitz. And I think they're going to get the ball into playmakers' hands and either screen passes or start running some outside zones and get some bootlegs going off that. I think New England will come out on top.
I like it. So, it's going to be fun. And so I also think, too, as well, this might be a first. I think me disagreeing here, I think now, as this is the last video in our Week 5 predictions, but I think we have disagreed on 5 games. So I think that's the most, actually. I want to have a little bit more diversity in our picks here. So I'm going to go with Miami here. Not going to be a fun game to watch. I don't think it's going to be. There's a lot of those fun, low-scoring defensive battle games that are really fun to watch. This is not going to be one of them. But either way, a team will win. Either way. Well, but technically not. There could be a tie. So
yeah, it could be 0-0. So we will see. Let's go ahead. We'll wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It's the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Miami Dolphins or the New England Patriots? Knowing that, we will see you guys next time.